This is the John Brown Alliance, where we don't fear, we fight. Flint, Michigan, 2016. A filmmaker named Michael Moore got on television and made the statement that Donald Trump was going to get us killed. Very few people listened. I did. Since then, we have been forming a group called Red, Brown, Black and Proud and the John Brown Alliance. Michael Moore suggested that you find 6 people that you trust and stay in constant contact with these people. We took that advice and our movement grew here where I live. Now everybody's in a full panic about this government shutdown. And in some ways, you should be. In some ways, you should not. Those who prepared, in conjunction with those who have actual experience in other instances like these, have been talking for 9 years about this moment. Now you have podcaster after podcaster after podcaster that have warned you about this. And everybody thought they were crazy and we shouldn't listen to this and we're going to go on our jobs and get our check and all that. But what happens when your money's no good or you have none? What do you have to trade or do? What do you have that somebody like me would want? Michael Moore prepared us for this moment. And I'm trying to make a serious video today, but it's going to really be hard. So I'll get back to that stuff later, because this is only the 3rd day of the Epstein files. Where's our Doge money? Grab 'em by the pussy. 34 count indicted president shutdown. And it's Friday. You ain't got no job and you ain't got shit to do. So do yourself a favor. Back off of MSNBC, CNN, and get into this type of media on YouTube. Independent media and content creators. 9 times out of 10, you're going to find that MSNBC and CNN are about 3 days late on the news, because we're posting this stuff as it happens. Now, I don't do video clips right now, but I probably will later when I get out into the community. And the reason I haven't been out in the community is, number 1, I'm disabled. Number 2, we had to wait for the right moment. Good white people knew this. And so now it's time for us to make our debut. I need to, before I laugh about what I'm going to talk about, I need to point out something. We have a bunch of clowns just out there getting on TV. I'm going to say this. I'm going to cut the shit like I tell everybody else to do. Clarence Thomas, Gorsuch, Alito, Kavanaugh, Roberts, and Coney Barrett, I'm sorry. Is this really what you're into? Y'all got the wrong robes on. Okay, Stephen Miller will give you the right color. I'm sure he's holding fittings now. And Clarence Thomas, when you put your hood on, okay, we can see that, bruh. Alright, we can, the little dark shit. When they cut them holes out of the hood, we see that, bruh. Alright? It's just phenomenal. This is just things flipped up. But the difference between the John Brown Alliance, the people that followed Michael Moore, and the people that have been talking about this for a long time is we're not panicking. And the reason why is we prepared. Except for meat and a couple of other things, I would say salad. I don't buy anything at the store. I make my own soap. The jewelry you see on my ears, I made. Um, we make cosmetics. Um, we make dishwashing liquid. We make shampoo. We did all that during the first Trump administration. And people, we knew about the tariffs, that they were coming. We knew all this. We knew all this. So we practiced on the pandemic. And we learned how to study science and agriculture to make these things for ourselves. Because people like me, we live on something like $300 a month. And y'all are crying about your salaries being cut. So we thought outside of the box. And this plan has been cultivated to the point and grown that we are feeding our neighbors who did not listen to us. But that's only in this state right now. So I wish y'all would have listened. But at this point in time, I don't know what I can do, any advice I can give over that. But these individuals in the Supreme Court needs to be our focus. Now that we have Democrats in Congress and Senate listening to the people's demands, and they are our demands, the Supreme Court needs to be held accountable immediately for the crimes they have committed against the citizens of the United States by usurping the United States Constitution and giving leeway to a president who A, does not deserve it, and B, is not entitled to it. No man has absolute immunity in the United States of America. And I don't care what body, wearing what uniform, what robe, or what suit declares it so. Our go-to is the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Full stop. That's it. No more trading rights, no more trading liberties, and no more free rides for the Supreme Court and the Republicans of the United States Congress. Because when you declare war against citizens of the United States of America, we're done with rule of law. So if you're looking for safe streets, understand that you perpetrated the first crimes, if they are violent crimes. Now let me digress. What was stated the other night and implied, not only by Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump at that military meeting, but now by Stephen Miller and Pete Hegseth to law enforcement, that they are to go out in the streets and use American cities as their practice grounds for war. Now, there are folks out there who want to believe that these law enforcement agencies are not going to do that. We've already seen Latinos in ICE doing that. So when you give somebody authority, no matter what color they are, and they think they're something else, and they think they're OG, they're going to exercise it. And you as an American individual need to understand that and act accordingly. We are at a time where it is no longer okay for you to rely on anyone to keep your people from being killed. 12 people, at my last count, have been killed in ICE facilities. Many of them can't be found by their families, and they're dead. So I don't know how far this has to go for you to understand the gravity of the situation, because it is grave. And I don't know about you, but my high road days are over when it comes to that. There are 340 million Americans in the United States of America. And there are 2 guns for every American. You do the math. And at the time when this comes to your doorstep, you can either surrender your gun and go to a concentration camp, or you can use it and defend your Second Amendment right that the Republicans have been drumming in your fucking head since day one. Those are your choices. I'm not telling you what to choose, but I'm telling you what is not going to happen in my house. It's not a threat, it's a scenario. Now, I'm going to get off of this shit for a minute because I got to talk for a moment about this Stephen Miller rant. He said, "You think you hardcore? We're more hardcore than you'll ever be." Bitch, please. Do y'all white folks sincerely believe that this motherfucker is, along with a drunk, along with some pasty ass bitch that doesn't even look like a human being, Laura Loomer, and Christy Nome, you know, granny with the big titties all fluffed up, y'all, that's y'all shit? Really? That's your threat? Caroline Levitt bobbing her head around like she just came out of Southeast DC? Really? That's all you got? Stephen Miller can't go to the fucking bathroom without, you know, Secret Service. That's the motherfucker you want to follow? That's the guy that's going to have your back? Really? Donald Trump is shitting his pants and pissing himself. And people smell it and talk about it. That's your guy? Really? If that's the case, we got nothing to worry about. Absolutely nothing. Because I'll tell you what. Stephen Miller had me laughing my ass off. This circumcised headed white bitch, lifetime Nazi, is sitting there talking about hardcore like he grew up in the ghetto. Oh my God. Day after day after day, Republicans just keep embarrassing themselves. And the problem with them doing so is Latinos And black people and Native Americans are like, really? We actually lived what you're trying to perpetrate on us. And you're hardcore. What in the actual fuck did you ever do that damaged your face or fucked up your your college admission or your admission to the country club, your members only jacket, your nice pants, your $1,000 suits, your daddy's money? What the fuck did you ever do to earn any of that? On a daily motherfucking basis, the rest of us have endured you through maybe 6 or 7 generations. And you think you hardcore? Are you kidding me right now? There are 340 million Americans and 2 guns per American. Only 30% of uneducated idiots think you guys are some kind of rising star. The other 70% have seen this movie before in some way or another. Your game is weak, your play is old, and none of us are falling for the okie doke. Just because you got TV time doesn't mean that the rest of us believe that shit. I spent the last working years of my life up on the iron building bridges. Every day I encountered some stupid ass white man that weighed 200 pounds more than you, talking shit and calling me names. As long as I was up there with a hammer and there was no way down but to fall, I was fully secure in my ability to defend myself. You fall for that okie doke, not us. In order for you to kick my ass and kill me and do all these things to me that you threaten, I have to be in the mood for that shit. I wasn't in the mood as an iron worker, and I'm not in the mood now. And I would bet my bottom dollar that most Americans are not in the mood for that bullshit either. So why don't you save your speech for somebody who gives a fuck? Take that shit to Appalachia. Or you can walk your penis head down the street of Southeast Washington, D.C. and scream it to the top of your lungs. Because until you're willing to do that and be prepared for the consequences, you will never defeat us. We're not backing down. We're not backing off. As a matter of fact, we're just getting started. This is the John Brown Alliance. When you see something wrong, do something right.